What's up, inmates? How is life behind bars? Not these bars, these bars. Really excited about today's video because finally the new product, the Denali DialDim, has landed here with us. We've been waiting for this for a while. I haven't had the pleasure of actually putting one on a bike yet, but I'm sure I will in the next couple of weeks. I'm actually thinking about sticking it on a car. The point with this product is you can stick it on anything. Here it is. The new DialDim is here and it's ready to be dispatched now. We've got a lot of stock sitting here in our inventory. We've already dispatched back orders before I started making this video. So those of you who have already ordered this, you will be getting this in the post shortly. Those of you who have ordered it with Denali D3s, well, obviously we've held yours back because the D3s still haven't come into stock yet, but we are literally expecting them any moment now. Now, another important thing to do before we dive into the unboxing of the DialDim so you can see what's in there, because I must admit, I've already unboxed it myself and I'm actually really impressed with what I've seen, and I'll explain why in a moment. But the stock we have here, we do have a lot of stock here, but as you know, Black Friday is coming up and we are going to be having an offer on Denali goods and Hex goods for Black Friday. But if it's crucial that you take delivery before Christmas, then I really wouldn't wait until the offers come out. You might be lucky, you know, fingers crossed you get lucky, you wait till Black Friday, you place your order. If it says it's in stock, it's in stock. But I've got a feeling we're going to sell out, and we've been having a lot of supply chain issues. The whole world's been having supply chain issues. I have got more stock due to be with me, more DialDims due to be with me, more D7s, more D4s, more S4s. Huge back order of D3s. The orders of it have been in place for a long time, but obviously COVID supply chain issues are still a thing, unfortunately. And so it is causing problems, and our hands are tied behind our backs. So if you really want the products, fine, wait till Black Friday. Don't wait for it to come back in stock. Back order it if you want to. We've got a new feature on the site where you can punch your email in and we can email you as soon as it comes back into stock. But just be aware that people are back ordering it. If you are filling your email address in to be contacted once it comes back into stock, well then there are still people punching in line in front of you, back ordering it. So for example, if I've got 50 DialDims on their way to me and I've back sold 60, well when those 50 hit me, well they're never going to hit the shelves and show as in stock, are they? Even though we've got that new feature on the site, I really wouldn't rely on it because when it comes into stock, it might already be gone. So just get it ordered. We've got constant inventory coming in all the time. Right, enough about all that, but let's now start diving into the DialDim, taking it out of the box. So come over here, take a look. Okay, so this is exactly how it comes. So let's open up this first. So in the box, you've got two bags, very professionally wrapped, and a set of instructions. And the instructions are very, very thorough, like very easy, nice and in colour as well, which is really, really nice. Now I've had a quick read through this and it does seem very, very straightforward how this all works. So I'm going to pop those back in there. So that will go to a customer tomorrow. Put that back with the stock over here. Over here is one we've already opened. Right, so what you get in the box, this is the main DialDim module itself. It's not the DialDim controller, it's the actual module itself. Made from a really nice material. It feels absolute quality in the hand. You've got your 4 MT plug outputs here. So these will power up the 4 lights, the 2 pairs of lights. You've then got the harness which goes to your battery. So as you can see, the length of this basically suggests that that's how far you need to be mounting it from your battery on your bike, which I think is plenty long enough. It's fused with, I'm imagining it'll be a 30 amp fuse. It's not actually, no, it's not a 30 amp fuse. It is, need a torch. No, that is a 30 amp fuse. I thought 30 amp fuses were red or orange. Right, okay. So yeah, it's got a 30 amp fuse inside there. And also like the fact it's a mini fuse rather than a great big chunky fuse like you get on a lot of accessories for bikes. And then you've got another harness coming off here which plugs into the actual dial controller that goes on your bike. And then on the back here, this is a plug which will connect to another harness that comes in the box, which then goes to the different various items on your bike, like your lights, your horn, etc. The only bit you should really be seeing, if you do a really good installation on this, that will go somewhere on your handlebar, and it comes with a little handlebar fitting kit inside this bag, so you can clamp it onto your handlebar. It'll literally sit like that on your handlebar. And it clicks, you press it in, it's got like a button in the middle so you can click it. Okay, so this is the harness, which plugs into the DialDim module, and then you have all these connections coming off the end. The good thing is they've tagged them all so we know exactly what wire does what, so we don't actually need to look at the instructions to remind us what colour does what. So we've got a high beam trigger wire, we've got a horn trigger wire, we've got an ignition trigger wire, a left turn trigger wire and a right turn trigger wire, and I'll explain shortly exactly why we need these. But one of the things that impressed me with it, you get 4 of these. There's 3 in my hand. These are MT plug connectors, male and female, male at one end, female at the other end, and these are the harnesses that connect between the module and your lights that you fit on your bike. Now what I'm impressed about with this, if I show you, you can hopefully see, that's really nice quality. Where the seal is here, if I go and show you an old version, one moment. So this is an older version from a Gen 1 and a Gen 2 Denali CanSmart harness. You can always tell a Denali harness because they have a Y-splitter integrated in the harness. It's because back in the day of the Gen 1 CanSmarts, you would put a pair of lights on one circuit, whereas with Generation 2, they didn't upgrade the harnesses, unfortunately, but you're supposed to put a light on each circuit to make a pair, which left one of these plugs completely redundant, which means you had to seal it up. Anyway, but I'm pleased to see they've taken the Y-splitter out of the new harnesses on the DialDim, so that's a plus for me straight away. But if you look at the connections on an old Gen 1 harness, if you look very closely at the way that the heat shrink is sealed around the MT plugs, and if you look on this one here, yeah, it's a nice job, it's professional, it's good enough. But sometimes you find when you're in tight spots and you're trying to get the plug to fit in between somewhere, you find the heat shrink can slip off sometimes, even though it's glued. Whereas what they've done with the new harnesses, which I'm hoping they're going to start rolling these out with the CanSmart harnesses as well, is this is like, it's not heat shrink, it's like a molded plastic. It looks really professional. It can't slip off. I can't even pick it off with my fingers. It's really, really good. So I suppose the downside to it is if I wanted to change the plug for any reason, I'd have to actually cut it off and actually remake the wire ends and re-crimp everything on, rather than just unpick it like you do on the old ones. But the wire itself, it's a much better quality. It's not like the last one where it's 2 or 3 wires inside a piece of PVC tubing. It's like a proper quality harness, like you'd expect to get on an appliance, which would run to your hairdryer or your kettle or the back of your TV. It's a really, really nice harness, and I'm sure it's very durable. It looks very durable. So very, very impressed with that Denali. I already know now that I'm going to get less emails from people complaining about certain issues, which sometimes are down to connections within the actual harness, because the integrated Y-splitter can sometimes be a nightmare, where we get a bad connection from the factory and it's hard to diagnose a faulty Y-splitter actually in the harness. So who is the DialDim for? Why would you go for a DialDim over a Denali CanSmart or a Hex EasyCan? Now, if you haven't seen my video explaining the differences, or should I say the non-difference between the EasyCan and the CanSmart, because they're both made in the same factory, well then please click up the link above. I'll put a link down below to that video. It's very useful for those of you who think there's a difference between the EasyCan and the CanSmart. They're both the same product. But I won't go into that. Just click on that video if you want to learn more about that. But why the DialDim? Because as soon as I heard about it, I thought, oh no, I don't like that. But actually, it's pretty fantastic, because my inbox is inundated over the last 2 years from people with, let's say, a Kawasaki, a Suzuki V-Strom, a Honda Africa Twin, just various bikes out there on the marketplace that have got CAN buses on them. And as soon as we try and integrate a set of lights or a horn or just some other accessory, well then it causes errors on our dash, and we don't want that. So hence why Hex in South Africa, genius, came up with this idea of the EasyCan CAN bus controller. So the whole idea is we plug in this EasyCan, this module which Denali called the CAN Smart, we plug it into the CAN bus of the bike, and then we have these 4 wonderful circuits which we can plug lights into, horns, heated gear, sat nav, all these various things. And then the likes of me came along 2 years ago and I started saying, hey, how can we expand these 4 circuits? We need more. So I said, why don't we daisy chain them together? And that's what we do. We can daisy chain the CAN Smarts together and the EasyCans together. I can even daisy chain an EasyCan and a CAN Smart together, which I've done in previous videos, and that will give you 8 circuits. The only thing with the EasyCan is it's only compatible with bikes that Hex have reversed engineered and brought the EasyCan to us. So they are doing amazing work at Hex bringing those modules to us. And I know for a fact they are working through all the major brand manufacturers to try and bring the EasyCan to everyone. But it takes time. So what these guys have done is they've brought the DialDim to us, which is a universal product. Now before I explain exactly how this works, going back to the Hex EasyCan and the Denali CAN Smart, is when you plug that into your bike, and it could be into the, on some bikes it gets plugged into the tyre pressure monitor system, on some bikes it gets plugged into the alarm system, depending on which bike you've got, which EasyCan you've got. Well then, as soon as it plugs in, it knows everything your bike is doing. So when you turn your ignition on and your headlights come on, well, your CAN bus on your bike knows your headlights come on. And so the EasyCan understands that language, and it automatically turns on your extra Denali lights that you've got, whether that be D7s, D3s, D4s, you name it. So that is how all these BMWs, KTMs, Harley Davidsons, the bikes that you see out there on the road with all these cool lights strobing away and these extra loud horns, that's how we do it. And that product is, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is coming out on the Honda Africa Twin. It's coming out on the new 1290. I've already got the prototype on my bike. I know that's being properly released to the public very, very imminently. If you've got a bike and there's a compatible EasyCan for your bike, well then my recommendation and advice is always go for the EasyCan or the CAN Smart, because it's completely 100% plug and play. So that's the important side of things. This, on the other hand, is not 100% plug and play. It's plug and play from the output side. You have to actually integrate this with your bike by splicing into the wiring harness on your bike. Now don't stop right there, because it's not as bad as you think. So I don't want you thinking, I've got this pair of powerful D7 Denali pods and you're wiring it straight into the high power feed on your bike, because by doing that, straight away the CAN bus is not going to like it and you're going to get errors and the lights will probably won't even work. So what this does, and I'm like so envious, I wish I thought of it myself. What this does, I've grabbed this harness which plugs into the module. Remember, on the end of here, you've got all these trigger wires, and that's all they are trigger wires. So if you've got a DialDim on your bike, it's not actually integrated with the CAN bus on your bike. You might have a bike that hasn't got a CAN bus, or a car, or a snowmobile, you name it, ATV. This can go on anything. All you have to do is with these 5 ignition, which basically will activate the daytime running lights on your bike. And then you've got the high beam, and then you've got a horn, but that's not to actually power a horn, because the DialDim will not power a horn. But if you want your new lights to strobe and flicker, well then if you connect that to your horn feed, the positive line on your horn feed, well then when you hit your horn, a tiny little residual current flies up this green wire and tells the DialDim controller to tell your lights to strobe, if you want that feature, which you can program through the dial, and that's in the instructions how to program that. You don't have to plug it into a computer or anything like that. It's all done through the dial. Obviously we need the on-off, the white one, which is the on-off. That obviously powers the whole thing together. Then we've got left turn, right turn, and we've got high beam. So if you want your lights to go to high beam, well then you put that to the high beam feed on your bike. So you need to find out on your bike, whether that be a Suzuki V-Strom or a Kawasaki, doesn't matter what it is, you need to find out which is the high beam wire. And if you don't know, this day and age with Google and with Facebook, forums, if you're on a forum, just go on there and ask, hey guys, I've got this new DialDim. Can someone please tell me where the ignition switch live is on the bike, where the high beam line is, where what color the turn signal wires. Turn signal's really easy. Just go straight to your indicators on your bike, your turn signals, your flashes, your blinkers, whatever you call them, wherever you are in the world. Just go straight to them. You'll see 2 wires coming out of there. You should see 2 wires unless you've got a brand new 21 plate GS. Unless you've got a bike with DRLs in your indicators, then you should have 2 wires on there. And it's quite easy to identify which one's ground and which one's live. Once they are connected, this will then send messages back to the controller that the horn's been activated, that the bike has been activated, that the high beam has been activated, the left turn signal, the right turn signal has been activated, which then means it will feed back through to the lights that you've got plugged in and do what is necessary. So the end result is, it appears to be exactly the same as the EasyCan and the CanSmart, but it's not completely the same, because the EasyCan and the CanSmart, you can power a horn up through it. You can't do that with this. So if you wanted a horn, you'd have to buy a horn separately and wire it up through a relay, which we supply all those parts as well. They're Denali sound bomb, Denali wiring harness with relay. You can do it that way, so it'd be going separately, but they'll all integrate together. So when I say integrate together, they don't actually integrate together, but they will appear like they're integrating, because when you hit the horn, your OEM horn will make its meet meet noise, and your sound bomb will make its very, very loud 120 odd decibel blast. But then if your DialDim is wired into the horn feed on the bike, well then your lights will strobe as well if you tell it to. That's the main reason why I will not be fitting a DialDim to my KTM 1290 Super Adventure S and my R1250GS Adventure, because I've got EasyCans on them. I've actually got CanSmarts on my GS Adventure, and I've got EasyCans on my Super Adventure S. So why would I want to go to the DialDim? But for those of you out there who have been crying out to have this technology, to have this capability on your bike, the DialDim is your answer. It's freaking fantastic. So I have gone in big and I've ordered loads of inventory of this stuff, so get ordering now. Like, I appreciate you want a deal on Black Friday, and then fine, so be it, but please don't hold me responsible if we haven't got the stock to dispatch before Christmas, because everything's just an unknown at the moment with supply chain issues. As I mentioned, this video is not showing you on the bike. By the time I get the chance to actually put it on a bike or on a car, or maybe on my ride-on mower, I don't know if that'll work though with the ride-on mower. It's got a headlight on there, but I haven't got a full beam, so I won't be able to, and it hasn't got a horn. So although I know I'll be able to wire up some lights to it, because I'm pretty sure it's got a 12-volt battery on there. Now, I probably won't bother with that, but it just goes to show the possibilities are endless with the DialDim. It can go on anything with a 12-volt battery, with a switch live, so an ignition, with the full beam facility. Don't need to have full beam facility if you just want lights to come on, but if you've got that on there, great. If it's got indicators, obviously my ride-on tractor hasn't got indicators because it's not road legal, but you can put this on quad bikes. You know, have a think about what you might want to put this on. So I will be bringing you another video very, very soon. Probably won't be till next year, showing the DialDim actually on a vehicle so you can see it all fully working, by which time I'd have had a really good play with it as well. This was only supposed to be a very quick video, so I'm sorry if I've rabbited along. It's because I'm very excited and very passionate about this. So until next time, please stay safe behind those bars of yours. We don't want any accidents between now and Christmas, do we? All right, and I'll see you in the next video.